This video, I want to cover rules and how this works. This is an extremely powerful section of the surveyfunnel.io software. So we've got our demo survey up, and I just want to point out, you may or may not have seen this in a prior video, but what we've done for the single choice options, we've added in some scoring, and this will come in useful later. Now, you're not required to do this, but I just want to point this out. So for one of the questions, if they answer yes, then they get a 10. If they answer no, then they get a 5. And then on another question, if they answer yes, they get 20 added to their score. So that's either going to make it 30 or 25. And then the other ones are 0. So that's going to be useful when we set up the rules. So under rules, the first thing you're going to do if you've never set one up is click the button that says create your first rule. So we can add a rule based on a question and answer, which is what I'm going to show you first, or we could do it based on a scoring condition. So let's focus in on adding a question or answer condition. So we can choose from any of these single choice questions, because if you think about it, it's not going to be possible for us to bring any logic to bear for something where we're asking for a long form answer. Really, this is best used for single choice or single option answers. So for example, we ask, how difficult has it been? Has it been difficult to find a solution to this? Yes or no? So let's just choose that one. So then I'll click on next step, and we have the option to choose either yes or no from the total number of answers available. And we'll click yes and finish. And so now, as you can see on the left-hand side, it says if someone answers this question, the one that we've labeled as difficult, that's the name that we gave it, and selects this answer, yes, then what are we going to do? So over on the right-hand side, you have a whole host of different options, and you can actually do more than one. So one of the most simple ones is to choose what thank you page you're going to go to. So we could just type in anything that we want. So let's just type in jackborn.com and click finish. All right. Now, when someone chooses chooses the yes option from the difficult question, then they can go to this URL. And in the same way, we could add another rule. Let's just go ahead and add another rule for the same question. And we'll say when someone chooses no, then what we can do is we can go to a different thank you page. So let's send them to deadlinefunnel.com. All right, so now they're either going to go to jackborn.com or they're going to go to deadlinefunnel.com. The other things that we can do are we can integrate an opt-in form. We would just give the opt-in form a name, whatever name you want, or sometimes it's easier to use something. So for example, let's say that you want to use an opt-in form that makes sense for you, so or a name that makes sense for the opt-in form. So you could say guys over 40, and then maybe you have another opt-in form that is for guys under 40. So if it was based on how old are you, and we gave them options of less than 40, over 40, then we could send them through different opt-in forms. And what we could do is we could go to our email provider and just grab the HTML code and put it in this area here and finish, save that, and then when someone goes to the survey, they're going to be added to your email software or your CRM because we're going to send them through that opt-in form. But I'm going to click back to the rules. I just wanted to demonstrate how that might work. Another thing that we can do is we can start a deadline funnel campaign. And I'm not going to go through the steps of showing this, but one of the things that's really, really powerful is that you can use surveyfunnel.io on the front end to segment and to build your list, to add them to different sequences, but you can also start a deadline funnel campaign on the back end. So even though they don't realize it, you could be putting them through a sequence that ends with a deadline where they get a limited time to take action and get a special price or special bonuses or both. So I'll show you in more detail a little bit later on exactly where to find that information for the deadline funnel campaign. But for right now, I just wanted to show you that it's possible and where to do that. So actually, let me just stay here and click back to rules. And another thing that we can do is we can add custom tracking code. You would just put in your custom tracking code here. For example, you could go to Facebook and create custom tracking code with it could either just be a retargeting pixel, or you could get as advanced as putting in tracking code and parameters that would say, okay, this is for guys over 40, and similarly you could track for guys under 40 in this example. And so you would put all of that code right here, and then based on how they answer the questions, they're either going to get tagged one way or another way. So you could create custom audiences in Facebook. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, and it works with more types of solutions and platforms than just Facebook. It works with anything where you can use a tracking code. It could be a conversion pixel. It could be retargeting code from Google or from AdRoll. All sorts of different things that you could put in here. So I'll click back to rules. And another one that is really popular is to use a Zapier outcome. So again, what we want to do is we want to think in terms of how would we label these different segments. So over here, I might say this would be over 40. And I click next. And you would go through the process of setting up a Zap in Zapier, and that also would be another way that you could add the name and email and the other information and map it over to your email service provider so that all the details and the way that they answer the questions would be mapped over into your CRM or your email software, so that information is added to your prospect's record. And I'm going to create a separate video on that because we want to go through in enough detail to be able to show you exactly how that's done. For right now, I just wanted to show you the basic overview of how rules work so that you can understand exactly what you have the capability of doing and how you can set it up. Finish up by pointing out that in the beginning of this video, I talked about how some of the questions had scores. And that's because what you can do is you can add another rule that has a scoring condition. So you could say if the score either equals, maybe it equals 20, or if it's greater than 20, then you can run a certain condition. So down here, this isn't based off of just one question and one answer. This condition will fire based on someone's score. And again, you could send people to different thank you pages. You can send them through a different opt-in form. You could integrate them with Zapier and add them to your email service provider and pass that information through. You could start a deadline funnel campaign. You could add a custom tracking code, all based off of their score. So there's lots of different things that you can do in the rules section based on either how they answer one individual question or based on a cumulative score.